All right, so this is the HDHD 2024 schedule review. The idea is that we can basically look through the schedule together. Any questions people have, this is also just a chance to connect, a little bit to have a meet and greet. We're going to be doing this, today's Wednesday, we're going to be doing this tomorrow as well at the same time as well as Friday. So we have 3 days people can join. And yeah, we're only a couple weeks away to the actual event. It's September 4th now, so I think pretty much exactly 2 weeks. Pretty exciting. We've had a few last minute changes to the schedule, so this will give me a chance to go over those as well. And I also have some unboxing to do. You may have got an email about the raffle. I'm going to be showing some of the things we have for the raffle, including this raw mouse pad, raw using a mouse on a mouse pad, very meta. But yeah, we have some fun unboxings to do. So before I get started, any general questions, anything anybody has had on their mind, anything we'd like to get started with, or else I can jump in? I see Carla said she can't participate fully yet. Well, that's quite all right. It's fine to jump in, drop out. You know, this is kind of I'm recording this, and this will all be uploaded and shared with everyone. So this is really just a chance to actually I'm going to use this raw mouse pad. I'm going to actually it's a good opportunity to use it. So yeah, as far as little updates from Santa Fe and how things have been going, we've had our first conference attendee join to help get set up. We have some people who come early who help set up every year, just helping with things at the venues. We have Vedran Shanti, also known as River V. He came all the way from Croatia. He flew out from Zagreb and arrived last night in Santa Fe, and so he's been a huge help just helping get the place in order. I'm at my home right now, which we call the Center for Human Design. We actually got it on Google Maps, but it's a 3,400 square foot ranch style home here in Santa Fe. We host a lot of the party type events here. For those who don't know, we do have basically the format is a main venue from 9 to 5 daily. Might go a little bit after 5, but typically 9 to 5 daily. That main venue is the Oddfellows Hall at 1125 Cerrillos Road. Has everyone gotten the schedules? I've been emailing them out, but I'll post the link in the chat as well to make sure everybody has them. And then we'll be sharing. I'll be sharing my screen momentarily, and we can go through the schedule. So just a moment here. Yeah, here's the links. I just want to make sure everybody has the links. I'm going to post them into the chat. So we have a shared Google Drive as well with attendee body graphs where we've removed everyone's birth info. If you have not yet submitted your birth info, please do so unless you're really, really private about your body graph. If you don't want to submit your birth info, you can also just submit your body graph. That's fine. But if you do submit your birth info, our body graph creatrix Name is doing some special things with the body graphs, including making lanyards for everybody, which is awesome. So here are the 2 links to the schedules. I'm going to share in just a moment. They're just in the chat if anybody wants to read along. So I'll start with the short form schedule, and then we'll look at the graphical one. And this will just kind of give a general overview. I just want to start at the overview, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. And at any point, if people have questions, if anything's not clear, please interrupt. Not a problem. This can be more of an open conversation as well. So I'm just going to be starting with the schedule, the short form schedule. So this is the spreadsheet. This is the pre-conference, Tuesday, September 17th. For anyone who's in town early, as I mentioned before, we have a meet and greet at Alto Park at 10 a.m. We also have a full moon event at 5:30 p.m. And then we've added a talk, and I'm really excited about this talk. I emailed everybody. Hopefully you got the email. Indra Shaker Singh, really, really cool guy. I'm so excited that he's going to be in town. I kept asking him, will you be at the conference? Will you talk at the conference? And he would say, no, Jonah, I'm too busy. And then finally, he lives in Mumbai. And finally, I ran into him at the coffee shop, and I'm like, Indra, you have to be at this conference. These are your people. This is so perfect for you. And he again was like, I can't. And then later that night calls me, and he just says, I changed my ticket. I'm leaving the 25th. I'm staying at your house. I'm like, okay, great. I'm glad that we got that all. And I have to make a space for him because it's going to be quite a full house here. But I'm very honored. So he will be talking about the Mother Goddess and Tantra, the White Path. This is a great first talk for the event. It really is going to set the tone because human design is about the yin. It is yin mysticism. It does come from the design principle. I mean, this is a cool talk. Okay, now, so that's for Tuesday. If you're there early, definitely join us. Tuesday we'll meet at 10 a.m. for the meet and greet. We'll probably walk along the Santa Fe River Trail. It's about half a mile. Those who are unable to walk, we'll make sure that there are some rides. Some people can drive over. But those who like to walk, we will walk along the Santa Fe River Trail to arrive at Fasciation Space, which is at 612 Agua Fria. That's Michael Steenbeck Litvin's retail space. It is not a typo. It is Fasciation Space. People always say, is it Fascination Space? Is it a typo? He loves that. This is his sense of humor. He loves making people think it's a typo. It's Fasciation Space. Fasciation is a term that means coming together, and so it's basically a space of coming together. But that's where the talk will be. Basically, 10 a.m. meet and greet. Then at noon, we will probably head over to get lunch. Anyone who wants lunch will go to the Co-op and Better Day Cafe. They have a lot of food options. The nice thing about going to the Co-op is if people have dietary restrictions, gluten-free, vegan, things like that, they have an incredible deli and hot bar and a lot of options for people of organic, good food. And then next door is a local favorite, Better Day Cafe, which has a lot of new Mexican cuisine, breakfast burritos, things of that nature. For those who don't know, New Mexican cuisine is not Mexican cuisine. It blends Mexican cuisine with Route 66, Americana, Southern, Midwestern, and some other interesting Spanish cuisine, things like that. So it's like a really interesting mix. So that'll be around noon. We will then head over from Better Day Cafe to catch Indra Shekhar Singh, the Mother Goddess and Tantra, the White Path, at 1. And then those who want to rest before the evening festivities are welcome to do so. Or they can come along when that's finished around 2 o'clock on a walk through the Rail Yard Arts District of Santa Fe. So I'm just going to be taking a group, probably stopping by a couple galleries. There's a good bookstore there. Maybe ending up at happy hour around 3 o'clock. There's a good happy hour in the area. Pretty much just a little kind of walking tour of Santa Fe. Then we'll go our separate ways until the evening. Starting around 5:30, there's the special pre-conference full moon event. And this is at Ray's Country Gardens, a very beautiful property kind of on the edge of Santa Fe. He has 60 chickens there. He grows 4,000 pounds of food a year. I mean, really incredible. This will be kind of a potluck and basically just a time to celebrate, hang out. If you arrive by 6:45, you can see the moon rising and the sun setting at the same time. I mean, in two different directions, but still, I mean, if you're standing on his deck, you get a really nice view, and you'll be able to see both of those. We'll have a number of events. I know Tarot Gold will be there doing tarot. We're going to have Alex Negrete will be talking a little bit about his past life regression on Saturday. For anybody who wants to join that, he's hosting a group past life regression on Saturday. A really cool opportunity to work with him. Raphael Weisman is, I'll just show some of these people. Raphael Weisman is a very gifted channel and intuitive. He'll be essentially hosting a full moon ceremony of some kind. Yeah, Alex Negrete. We'll just discuss what he's going to be doing there. We're basically going to have a number. Yeah, this is Alex's work. Really, really cool guy. And then we're going to have, who else do we have? We have a drum circle with Jordan Ramus. we'll probably do a tarot swirl. For those who don't know what the swirl is, you may have seen those on the calendar. That's something that Robert Raymond Wiles hosts, Ray. He's the proprietor of Ray's Country Gardens. And basically, the tarot swirl is when you take a group of people. I think the maximum he'll do is 13. But you basically take a group of people, usually a smaller group, 5 or 8 or something, and he takes a deck of tarot cards and swirls it around on the table, and then everybody draws one, and it's a group tarot reading for spontaneous healing. So whoever feels compelled to go first kind of shows their card, and everyone has a chance to talk about it. And so if you know tarot and you have something you'd like to say about it, it's kind of a group reading. Otherwise, Ray does a pretty good job handling it himself, but it's all about spontaneous healing, and they're pretty powerful events. It's like a one-card draw, but what ends up happening is a lot of times people end up getting messages for themselves, even if somebody else was receiving the reading. It's almost like while it is particular to the person who drew that card, there's also a sort of a general quality where you sort of synchronistically get messages for you from the readings to other people. It's really powerful how that magically happens. And then later he's going to have a bonfire and story time. So bring stories to tell. They could be ghost stories. They could be really anything, but he's going to be hosting this bonfire on his property in the arroyo. And for those who don't know what an arroyo is, that's a Spanish word. It basically is a river. You'll see a lot around here. You'll see the, arroyo is a river that it usually becomes dry certain times of year. So this will be a dry riverbed where he's going to host the bonfire. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to the full schedule, I guess might be a nice way. I wonder if that's the right way to do it. I haven't really thought that far ahead yet. Let's just jump over to the full schedule here. Okay. And if anyone has any questions yet or anything at all, or you can also post things in the chats. I see Carla Unger says, sounds beautiful. Love that. Yeah. Any questions, comments, feel free to jump on voice or post them in the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on that. Okay, so here is our digital schedule. We also have a print schedule, which is a little bit different. So you'll all be receiving copies of the print schedule upon your arrival, along with gift bags and other various conference things. The print schedule contains part of this, and then it contains a bunch of extras that we didn't include here because we want it to be a surprise. I don't want to spoil everything. So you're going to get a bunch of fun extras. Not necessary extras, just we have a whole section we do each year called Neutrino Streams. We do Santa Fe Insider. I think I included most of that in here, the Santa Fe Insider and some other things. But yeah, you'll all be receiving a print schedule upon your arrival. You can also print this one out in advance if you want, but you don't need to because you're going to be getting, like, all of this is in the print schedule. So it's going to be fine. The only thing the print schedule does not have is the full descriptions. You'll see when we go later, like this whole later portion, this is not in the print schedule. This is only in the digital schedule. And that's because things just kind of change up till the end, and I wanted to make sure that we can still do that here. But I think basically you don't have to really worry about printing anything. You'll receive a full paper schedule when you get here. And if you did want to print something, I would just say, I don't know if everyone got my email about the flows I made. I'm going to show those for a minute. That might be useful if you have a printer, and it's to help you decide what to go to. Would be, let me open up one of those real quick. I think I have one right here. Yeah, here's my flows. So I just made these kind of flows pages. I'll share it so you see what I'm talking about. And this allows you just to easily print everything happening for that day and then circle what you're wanting to attend. So for instance, for Wednesday, if you want to come early, you would circle meet and greet and keynote introduction. And then you would circle either James Alexander Heretic Sessions 1, or I have a workshop on love, compatibility, and attraction in relationships. You can pretty much, if they're on the parallel line, you can't really make it to both, but you could probably get back in time after my love, compatibility, attraction you could get back in time for the intimate cello, the presentation on the sound medicine journey with Ruticelli. Then you could stay for or you could go to Orion and so on. And so it's kind of up to you. I sent out this email saying, please be respectful of the speakers and don't leave early and don't come late and stuff like that. Obviously, people are going to do whatever they're going to do, and I'm not going to shame anyone for leaving early or coming late. Like, a huge part of human design is obviously following your inner authority. At the same time, I just kind of said that as a cautionary thing of like, some people try to go to everything and they just see this smorgasbord of topics. And I think, if anything, try to kind of look within and maybe even look up some of the speakers and see if you vibe with them. Check their body graph in the shared Google Drive folder, see if you have any real connections there, things like that. And that way you're not like leaving, Orion's in a big hurry to get back to Singh's talk here, or leaving Mike's talk to try to rush over to this, right? It's kind of more like, some people are going to really want to do it that way. I guess they're kind of maximalists and they're just going to want to try to hit as much as possible. That's fine. If that's you, I'm never going to criticize anyone for just following their authority. Obviously, if that's what your authority brings you to and you want to just bop around to all the events, great. But, at the same time, like, I grouped them together where if you go to Mike's Jupiter and Saturn workshop, you're at the same venue as Roger's reflector sessions. It's possible to go to the Jupiter Saturn and then pop over to the main venue for the coffee talk with Karen, but you might consider, grouping these together. You might consider seeing Amy and Monique's talk, sticking around for Teresa and Brandy's interview with Karen, or seeing Mike's workshop, sticking around for Roger Campbell's reflector sessions, simply because they're at the same venue. But anyway, these flows are just kind of a nice way to see everything laid out and sort of circle what's interesting to you. I typically only circle a couple. Like, I have to be at this one because I'm teaching it, and then I think Singh asked me to be at this one. And then besides that, I'm probably just going to honestly, and I have to be at this one. Besides that, I'm going to pretty much just see where the energy takes me. I might stick around the main venue. I might pop over to Mike's thing. I don't really know yet, and that's okay. You don't have to know. I think seeing so many events can be a little overwhelming, but I just remind people, if you walk into a library, you're not overwhelmed by all the books on the wall. So same thing. You don't have to read every book. You just, you see which book speaks to you. You see which book jumps off the shelf to you. And so if one of these is really speaking to you, make sure you get there, but otherwise there's nothing really much to worry about. So yeah, these flows are just kind of a way that you can print this out and, circle the ones that you really don't want to miss. And I will also have a printer here. I'm not going to print these for everyone because that would just be hundreds and hundreds of pages and they might not be useful. But if you do get here and want to print these, I will have a printer available. We have it available anyway if people need to print body graphs or just different things. So when you get here, you can always use the printer and print these up if you want to help you navigate the event. And really, it's just little quality of life things. It's just trying to kind of make it as easy as possible for everyone to get the most out of the conference. I see a comment from Carla. Thanks for explaining the flow. Knowing if it's on the same line, it's at the same time helps. Yeah, generally the same time. One might be 12:30, the other might be 1, but they're generally overlapping. You should still check the schedule to see. Okay, so going back to our main schedule here. Yeah, and you all should have a copy of this so you can study it. These are the venues. The Oddfellows Hall is the main venue. You're going to find the vast majority. Every day we have talks there. One slight change. We originally weren't going to have any talks at the main venue on Sunday, and that changed because there was a little mix-up. Last year we had all 5 days there, and they had booked us for all 5 days again, and we'd already paid for all 5 days, and so we essentially were like, well, we might as well just put some stuff on Sunday. Sunday will be a very relaxed day. So Sunday will be a much more take it easy, pop in if you want, have a coffee. But the other nice addition this year is that this year at Oddfellows Hall, we have HDHD Cafe. and we have a bunch of volunteers. I'm so excited for our volunteer team. Thank you, Kaylee, for getting all the volunteers coordinated. And basically, we will have dedicated HDHD cafe baristas providing free beverages to all attendees. So we have coffee, we'll have kombuchas and sparkling waters and some other things. But yeah, basically, you'll be able to go by the Oddfellows Hall. They have a sort of a kitchen area, and we're going to set that up as a cafe. We're bringing in an espresso machine and an ice maker and a hot water dispenser. And we'll just have hot water for the hot thirst people there, and we'll have ice cubes for the cold thirst. And basically just kind of have a central station where, anytime during the event, as long as it's from 9 to 5, and you're sort of not sure where to go or what to do, pop on down to Oddfellows Hall. There'll be a talk going on the main stage, and you'll be able to get some refreshments. The only one note here is that there's no alcohol at Oddfellows Hall. So we do have wine tastings and things like that, but those are all going to be at my place because we don't have that restriction there. So as far as the spaces, let's just go through the locations. So Oddfellows Hall, daily 9 to 5, except Sunday we end early. We're ending at 2:30 on Sunday. That's our short day. Otherwise, 9 to 5 daily. Some of the talks may actually go past 5. We'll see, but roughly 9 to 5 daily. The Center for Human Design. This is my home here. I'm going to pop over to maps. I did make some special maps that just show only the venues, and I shared those in the shared Google Drive. So if you go, I wonder if everyone has the shared Google Drive. It's called HDHD 2024 Resources. I know I posted that link here in the chat. I believe I've emailed it to everyone as well, and it's also pinned on the Telegram. So if you're in the Telegram group that is pinned, this should have anyway a lot of the info. I'll make sure it's all in here, but we have links, schedule, transportation, lodging, stuff like that. So, okay, so as far as, I'll just show the locations as we're doing it. So this is Santa Fe. This is my home. This is where I'm actually broadcasting live from right now. So this is where I am. And this is, let's see, directions to or from Oddfellows. You'll see it's about a 27-minute walk from Oddfellows. I recommend taking the side streets and back streets. They're much nicer, so it's 31 minutes if you do that. So that's a bit of a walk. Most of the venues are much closer to Oddfellows. I'm kind of an outlier. I'm a bit far here. But it's not a bad walk for those of you who enjoy walking, and there will be plenty of people driving back and forth as well. So it shouldn't be a problem getting a ride. I don't have much going on at my home during the day. My home is more of an evening venue. You'll see some of the other venues, 1501 Hickox. This is our friend Amber's house. Very close, only a 12-minute walk from the main venue. And then 1530 Hickox, that's my mom's house. She's hosting a few things. She's Amber's neighbor. That's only a 12-minute walk. We also have a number of talks in the shade at the park. Oops, that's not the right one. Laragoet Park. Here we go. And that is an 11-minute walk from the venue. So you'll see we tried to make things as close as possible, and we picked workshop locations pretty close. One of the farther locations is Fasciation Space. And so that's why I do suggest if you're going to something there, you might consider going to a couple events in a row. That is probably the farthest one we have. It's a 29-minute walk, 1.3 miles. Probably a lot of people will be driving to and from the venue to there. So if you're going to go to one of the workshops there, you should be able to get a ride. And we have greeters. We have dedicated greeters, 2 at a time at the main venue. And so you can ask the greeters and just say, hey, I'm looking for a ride up to Fasciation Space. And they'll say, oh, I just saw so-and-so who just left. Let me text them. And they'll help coordinate rides for you if you don't have a car. There's also Ubers, worst case scenario. And it's really not a bad walk, especially if you go through like the Rail Yard Park. That's a very nice walk there. For people staying at the hostel, a lot of people this year are staying at the International Hostel, actually every year. That's kind of one of our main places for lodging. And if you haven't got lodging yet, last I checked, they still had a few rooms available. Definitely call them to see. They are $35 a night for a private suite when booked directly, or $45 a night through Airbnb. That's only 0.4 miles, 9-minute walk. We also have a lot of really good restaurants and places to go around here. I put them in the schedule. Cafecito, oh, actually, sorry. Here we go. Cafecito is a 3-minute walk from the main venue. Argentinian fare. Counterculture has a really wide variety of cuisines, also a 3-minute walk. The Turquoise Teapot and Cat Cafe, mostly pastries and tea, but a nice little option. So you have a lot of choices in the area, definitely easy to get around. So yeah, I would just say, 9 to 5 daily at Oddfellows. Most of the special events are at my home at 1739 Agua Fria. Please, 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 please park at 2001 Agua Fria. We do not have parking here. People always kind of park here, and then we get the cops called, and it annoys the neighbors. And we're already having, a lot of events here. So the more we can be under the radar at my home, the better. Fasciation space, that's the one I mentioned, is Mike's retail space, sort of a gallery art pop-up space. Rubedo Counseling, this is kind of one of our premier workshop locations. This is right near a complex of really good cafes and restaurants, so I definitely recommend stopping in Bread Shop if you eat gluten, stopping by Iconic if you don't. They have a lot of gluten-free options there. A lot of good food in that area, and it's a pretty short walk from the main venue as well. And this is the This is the office of Diana Langberg, who is Mike's girlfriend, Michael Steenbeck-Litvin, and so she has graciously allowed us to host 9 workshops at her professional counseling, her office. She's a counselor. And her office is actually quite large and can probably hold around 30 people capacity, and is a very nice venue. So she's allowed us to host people there. We also have events. These are some of the other locations for the events. So you'll see, and then we have a few additional events spaces as well, kind of just like one-offs or things that we're doing. I'm doing a river walk. We have Colin Ahrens doing a field trip to the Pottery Pub. The Tumbleroot Pottery Pub is a really cool idea where it's a place where you can actually make pottery and have a beverage at a pub here. So she's doing Finding Your Design with Clay workshop, and then also taking people on a little field trip to the Pottery Pub on a different day. I'll be doing a talk at the Institute of Contemporary Art. We'll be doing a meetup at Cowgirl, which is a local favorite, kind of just a place to have happy hour. And then we're also going to have a meetup at Susan's Fine Wine and Spirits, which is a wine bar and sort of speakeasy style cocktail lounge with a large outdoor area. Okay, so tips: sun protection. Definitely make sure you eat enough. Drink enough water as well at this high elevation. People underestimate how much water they need. Leave plenty of time to get places. When possible, take the acequia and river trails. I'm going to show those on the maps here. So you'll see where I'm located. Just a second. So I am at Agua Fria Street. Interesting. Okay, here's me. So this is one of the main thoroughfares, Agua Fria. And so Agua Fria, as an example, goes all the way from me, all the way up to Fasciation Space, where Mike is. And you'll see that you could just walk Agua Fria the whole way. Well, you could, but that's kind of a main road, and it's not really that nice. And it's so much nicer to go down to the park and to the river trail. And so this whole walk, it might be slightly longer, but if you have the time, you can basically walk the river trail, and the river trail is so beautiful. If anyone's seen any of my YouTube videos, I'm always walking on the river trail. You're basically just, there's no traffic, there's no streets, here, and you're just walking along the river the whole way. And it's really nice. And I know I've been recommending Airbnbs to a lot of people, and a few people are staying, like I know one of the Airbnbs is like right here. I've been definitely recommending Airbnbs along the river trail. when possible, because it's just such a nice way to get into town. You can see this whole way you walk. You're not really on a busy main street until you get here. And even then, you're just walking through a neighborhood. So definitely recommend the river trail. The other way, say we're going to go to the conference venue, the main venue, is to take the Acequia Trail. And so the Acequia Trail, I think this is the Acequia Trail. I don't know why it's not listed. Let me see. That should be, yeah, this is the Acequia Trail. So I don't know why it's not. I think if I zoom in enough, it'll say it. Maybe it's not very well. Let me just see if I can. Let's see if it knows what the Acequia Trail is. Yeah, it does. Good. Yeah, so the Acequia Trail, I guess it doesn't really know that much. Okay, it knows part of the Acequia Trail. This is part of the Acequia Trail, but basically, you can always ask people. Acequia means ditch, and it's basically where the water flows. So it's kind of like an arroyo, a river, but much smaller. And historically, the acequias were from the snow runoff from the mountains. And so the mountain water would be diverted to go to different farming plots and so on. And then those were the acequias. But you can see like this path goes here. The path continues along, and you're just able to kind of walk along the Acequia Trail, and see this is the same. All the green line is the path. And this is all the Acequia Trail too. So unfortunately, we're still very much in the Wild West here in Santa Fe, so a lot of things aren't as up to date on Google Maps and things, but you will see big signs. Like if you're walking on it, you'll see signs that say Acequia Trail, and you can basically take the Acequia Trail all the way. Here's our main conference location here. This is where it is. You can basically walk a block over, go to the Acequia Trail, and then take the Acequia Trail pretty much all the way to my house, just staying on these back roads. So, I mean, you'll figure it out. It's not the worst thing. Even when I say this is a main road, I mean, it's a town of 80,000 people. It's not a big city. So it's not really that bad. You can pretty much get anywhere. And also, there'll be a lot of people driving. So it's really up to you if you prefer walking or driving. It's just, if you're going to walk, the trails are very nice. Okay, so let's take a look at Wednesday. And I actually have some notes here. I'm going to read some descriptions. Let me pull up. There we go. There's the schedule. So, okay, so Wednesday, this is all at the main venue. So the way the schedule is set up is we basically have the main venue separate from the workshops. And that just makes it convenient and easy. Like if you wanted to, you could pretty much just pop in and out of the main venue. I don't think anyone's going to stay at the main venue from 9 to 5. Why? Because while it's a lovely venue and it's a great venue, it is sitting on folding chairs watching someone talk. I mean, that's not what we come to a conference for. If you want to catch its talk, then you want to go, see the city, then go with a group of people. And, this is a nice like central meeting place and a central place to come and see the talks that you want to see. But I would not plan, I personally at least, I have 2946, I mean that's part of it. I personally could not sit in a chair from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I have to move, I have to get around. So I would just say, go to the talks that sound good. I definitely recommend people show up for the meet and greet and or keynote introduction. I think that's a great, if you're up at that time and you want to join and pick up your tote bag, that's a little talking tote bag there, I guess. Thank you to Taylor Teachworth for doing these custom illustrations. She made illustrations for some of our things here, the pillars here, the not self there, and so on. So pick up your tote bag. Keynote introduction, this is something Brandy Jordan did last year as well, and this will just be sort of setting the tone, sharing some quotes from Ra, talking a little bit about the history of human design. Then we have James Alexander Heretic Sessions. We don't really know what he's going to do for the Heretic Sessions. Each year he brings a lot of different things. If I had to say, I think he will at least touch on the Godheads and the secrets of the Rave Mandala and the Wheel, but I know that he's been exploring a lot of different things. This is basically his chance to share everything he's researched and learned and explored in the past year. We have a lunch break, and then over lunch, we have a presentation by Ruticelli on her intimate cello sound medicine journey in 432 hertz. We were originally going to have her perform here and on Saturday, but upon discussing, it just seems like people are going to want to be coming in and out during lunch. They're going to want to be, it seems better. We have her on Saturday doing this very in-depth, deep sound medicine journey. And just out of respect for her, she really does need that amount of time, and she wants people to be able to lay down on the ground and get really into the space that she creates. So this is going to be her presenting on what she does and probably playing a recorded sample of it so that people have a sense of what she's offering. And then if you want to attend, it's Saturday, 6 p.m. at Ray's Country Gardens. You'll be able to actually attend in person and have the full experience. And so for those who don't know, 432 hertz is sort of a special frequency that's in multiples of 2. It's in the binary sequence. And there's a whole belief based around tuning to 440 hertz not being the natural resonant frequencies. And so this 432 hertz is thought to have some healing properties and so on. So she'll be presenting on her work there. At 1 p.m., we have Sing, Transpersonal Karma from Uber driver to family member. What exactly does transpersonal karma entail? This is Singh's description. What makes only the 4th, 5th, and 6th lines transpersonal? Why did the voice show Ra his past lives? How does it benefit left angles to tip extra? When is transpersonal karma complete? Is there a not-self strategy for the transpersonal being? Come discuss. And so I know Singh has invited me to join. He's also invited Mike. I'm not sure who all is going to be on the panel, but it's going to be a transpersonal group discussion, essentially. At 1:50, we have Don't Fear Your Openness and Shadows with Jess Locke. How to build resilience as we strengthen our energetic capacity and boundaries. I got to see a sneak peek of the slides for this one. Very excited about that. And then at 2:40, we have the foundations and pillars on which human design stands. So this is a talk that Mark Germain was very compelled to put together. Usually he just kind of does what he calls his human design satsangs. He still has a couple of those on the calendar, at least one now. But those are a little more freewheeling, ask Mark anything, sort of, anything goes. This is something that Mark felt really compelled to present this year, which he's been very hard at work on, and I've been very excited for this talk in particular. He's doing another time of this as well. He's doing this as well on, I believe, Friday. Let me check here. If I pop over just a minute here. I believe it is, Friday at 2:30 p.m. He's doing a second instance as well. So, and then at 3:30, we have Projector Manifestor Deconditioning as a Non-Sacral. That is Amy Douglas and Monique Sampedro. Amy's a manifestor, Monique is a projector. So they'll be talking about their friendship and business partnership, doing Love Human, Be Spirit podcast and things of that nature, and what deconditioning has been like for them from two non-sacrals. And then we have Karen Curry Parker being interviewed live on stage by Teresa Brenneman and Brandy Gilmartin for Human Design Coffee Talk. So that rounds out the first day. I'll check the chat here if there's any questions or comments. Ariana says she has to take off. Thanks so much for the access to the Zoom. Absolutely. Nan says she has to hop off as well. Good night, everyone. Yeah, no problem at all. This is being recorded, and this will all be shared later, so anybody who has to jump off, no problem. Okay, so that's the main stage, and then that night we have the opening night gala and workshops. So our opening night gala runs from 6 to 10 p.m. We'll have plenty of festivities. We also have a number of workshops starting at 6 p.m. Feel free to attend a workshop and join the gala after if you are so inclined. So the workshops run from either 6 to 7 or 6 to 7:30 or 6 to 8. You'll be able to come after if you still have energy and want to join the opening night party, or just come to the opening night. No problem there. Okay, these are some of the workshops and special events. We have a few daytime events. I'll be talking at 11 a.m. on love, compatibility, and attraction and relationships. Let's see if I have a description for this one. Jonah presents his original research. Okay, I'll just put it in my own words. I will present my original research on the three fundamental aspects of our relationships: the love of the magnetic monopole, the attraction of the personality, and the compatibility between two people at a mechanical level. And this is a 50-minute talk at the Institute of Contemporary Art, the ICA. At 1 o'clock, we have the HD Embodiment Play Shop, not a workshop, a play shop, Qigong to Step into Creative Leadership by Orion Ohev. Is what he wrote here. Human design is about embodiment at its core, the experiment, the remembering how to trust your body, to lean into your original nature of joy, delight, surprise, trust, patience, compassion, courage, wisdom, and healthy willpower, fear, anger, and grief, and to transmute your acquired nature, parentheses, not self, of excess fear, anger, and grief, depression, anxiety, worry, bitterness, frustration, and disappointment. While the not self can be understood with logic, it can only be transmuted through the body, through the breath, through movement, and through sound, and most of all through play. Qigong translates to energy skill. Come enjoy this play shop, growing your energy skill to self-regulate, transmute the not self, and build your capacity for the voltage of you using sound, breath, and movement. On day one of the conference, learn tools you can use throughout the conference and each day of your life to step into your unique creativity and leadership. This is 90 minutes at Bicentennial Alto Park. You'll see the location there. And so this is just a nice place with big trees, so there'll be a lot of shade, kind of out in the grass, and across the street from the Montanita Co-op, so you can stop by the co-op for lunch if you want and pop over, or if you just go straight here, it'll be in the same area, so after, it'll be easy to get food and beverages, and they have a lot of good options, kombuchas, coconut waters, that kind of thing. And then we have Michael Steenbeck-Litvin at 4. This is the Jupiter and Saturn workshop, live chart analysis of Jupiter and Saturn placements. Please make sure your body graph is available in the shared folder ahead of time if you'd like him to look at your placements here. He'll be reading Jupiter and Saturn lines and sort of doing some analysis of Jupiter and Saturn in the chart. Now you can see fasciation space continues on right after to the introduction to Tarot with Veronica Leone. Even though this is intro, depending on the level of the people who attend, she will adjust the level of what she teaches. She's a master of many modalities, well-versed in human design, well-versed in astrology, and other things like light language and Akashic Records reading. Just really fascinating person, really cool person. So I kind of questioned calling it Intro to Tarot because I know that a lot of people coming to the conference are already pretty into it, and I didn't want them to be turned off thinking it'll only be introductory materials. This is basically just if you like Tarot and you want to meet somebody else who's very adept in that and maybe even has connections to human design and astrology and things like that, it's a good opportunity to do so, and she'll very much cater the presentation to the audience that shows up. So if people are intro level, they want to learn more about it, they don't know much about it, she'll do some intro readings and talk a little bit about the technique and so on. Probably do a group reading or maybe even some individual readings that people can watch. Or if it's more advanced, she'll do more advanced topics. This is in the front of fasciation space, also in the back, which is actually technically Krista's house. We have a manifestor only event, closed aura container, Yang Yang Therapy. So this is for the manifestors. This is hosted by Singh. Bring your inner dictator, the full spectrum of your impact, your manifestor misunderstandings, your inclinations to inform or not, your accidental initiations, and your ongoing experiences with relentless resistance and palpable peace. This is a closed container for closed auras only. Time will be split up according to the number of total attendees. Divided time may be used to inform, share, vent, or just be heard and felt by fellow closed auras. Think of it as group therapy for the Yang Yang aura. 90 minutes. And so, these will both be at the same location, but in different... It's a very large, probably 8,000 square foot, mixed-use commercial residence. And so the front commercial retail space will have Intro to Tarot. Then one of the back residential areas will have the manifestor only event. We have some signage that we have this year. It's exciting. We got a bunch of signs made, kind of yard signs. And so we'll make sure that there are signs, people can find it. But basically, you could go to the Jupiter and Saturn workshop and then stick around for the Intro to Tarot. If you need a short break in between, I bet it would be fine, especially because of the nature of the Jupiter-Saturn workshop, which is kind of working with multiple people's charts, to leave a little bit early. And there's a number of really good restaurants in the area. And so you could basically, ask Mike or someone where a good place to get some food is, dip out at 5:15 or 5:30, get some food and bring it back, and then eat at Intro to Tarot if you wanted to. Totally fine. We can have food at all of the venues except inside the main dance hall area of the main venue. So you can have food in the lobby there, but we can't bring, just out of respect for them, they just want to protect the floor and stuff. But all the other venues are food friendly, so no problem there. In fact, Ra liked when people would eat during his classes because he thought that while they were absorbing the nutrients, it was actually helping them absorb the information as well. He encouraged that people eat while they learn because it's sort of consuming at both informational and energetic levels. Okay, so if you look at where the Dreama and Amber's place are right next to each other, I showed on the map earlier. Dreama's is 1530 Hickox, Amber's is 1501 Hickox, so they're literally neighbors. So it would be very easy to pop into Roger Campbell's reflector sessions and then leave at 6. That's only a 50-minute, and then pop over to Amber's for Kip Winsett's I Ching and divination, or stick around for my human needs and the personality. So reflector sessions is going to be kind of more open-ended, Roger discussing what he's learned as a reflector. And then Kip Winsett, we have Kip presenting on Jung's synchronicity theory as the foundation for how the I Ching works. Kip will address the most effective way to compose questions when consulting the I Ching oracle. He will also cover the profile line's direct relationship to what the I Ching says about line positions 1 through 6. Attendees will learn how to use the I Ching as an oracle, which will include the formulas to create the moment of synchronicity, structure the question, throw the coins, build the hexagram, derive the changing lines, and find the hexagram to read. And that is a 2-hour workshop. I will also just mention that we have 2 sets of yarrow stocks for the traditional I Ching that I have created myself. I've been posting some photos of them, and I think one will be in the raffle and one will be in a gift bag for those who want to donate to the conference. We have special gift bags. Okay, human needs and the personality. That's going to be my talk for that evening. This is kind of part of my personality series. I'll see if I wrote something up for it. I can also just, I think I did write it, but I can just describe it. It's not a big deal. So basically, this will be looking at, 6 fundamental human needs, 4 of them that are in polarities, and asking us to explore which 2 out of the 4 we have prioritized and which 2 we have neglected, because everyone has all of the human needs. So I'll just give an example. I'm somebody who has highly prioritized the human needs of variety and significance. And so I have a lot of variety in my life. Even the way I've put together this conference, there's a lot of variety of things to do. And I've also prioritized significance, doing work that I think is important or that makes me feel important, whether it actually is or not. And so by prioritizing those needs, I may have neglected and ignored their opposite needs. The opposite need of variety is certainty, and the opposite need of significance is connection. If you feel really significant, you can feel really alienated and disconnected from people. And if you have so much variety, it can lead to so much uncertainty that you don't have that need met. So I'll be kind of talking about human needs and their relation to the personality in particular in the context of kicking off a series on the personality, since most 90% of the conference is going to be on the design and the body graph and so on. I wanted to give the personality some. So this will be kind of a rave psychology talk, talking about the human needs and really talking about how the personality gets triggered when its perceived needs aren't met, but how the needs actually relate to the totality of the form. And so some interesting stuff there. So yeah, this will be at the same time. We have a lot at the same time, and so I'm hoping that each of these events will be attended well, and that we kind of made a conscious choice this year to not spread them out throughout the day because that leads to so much fragmentation. What we did last year was we had the same number of workshops, but they were scheduled at 10 a.m. and noon and 2 and 4. They were kind of just spread out, and this kind of concentrates them. So yeah, you're gonna miss certain workshops, but hopefully go to the workshop that really speaks to you, and we're going to do our best to record as many of the workshops as possible if they will let us. I don't know if Sing will want the manifestor only one recorded, but if it's allowed, we're going to record. So I'm definitely recording my human needs talk. I would say I'm fine with having very low attendance. It's fine if I just do the lecture to one person, my mom, because it's her place, so she's going to be there, and I will record it for everybody else. I definitely recommend people check out Veronica Leone because, I mean, you're also going to get plenty of talks from me. So check out the people that aren't talking as much at the conference. Check out Veronica. Check out Kip. And then definitely we have a few other fun ones. So Mechanics and Mythology, we have 2 of these. These are going to be great. This is Richard Corbett doing his astrology and human design readings. This one you have to RSVP for the address, so you should have the link. I've sent it out a bunch of times, but if not, let me know. I'll get that to you. It's at a really beautiful location. The location is about 10 minutes drive, and it's kind of up in the hills. So that's another reason to RSVP, is that he'll help coordinate rides, because you'll kind of need a ride up there. It's a really sweet, beautiful location with amazing views, and this will be a really cool one where he'll basically be doing live chart readings using human design and astrology. We have How to Build a Local Human Design Meetup. This is a really cool one as well, where Casey will be sharing her practical tips. She grew her Human Design Houston meetups to, I think, over 150 members. Not that they always all come every time, but I mean, she grew them to a very large group of people who are all very passionate about human design, and she'll have practical tips and printouts. Oh, the second time available for Richards. Great question, Carla. I believe it's the next day. Let me check here. Just a second. Okay, one moment here. Sorry, it's going to take me a second to find it. Yeah, it is. It is Thursday at 6 p.m. So, and then you'll see this is the link. And so you can just follow that to RSVP, and then he'll send you the address. So yeah, so that's Wednesday and Thursday at 6 p.m., Mechanics and Mythology. Yeah, these were a huge highlight last year, and we actually ended up adding a 3rd instance because they just got so packed. We did RSVPs last year for everything. It was a big hassle. So I think it's better not having RSVPs. We did that because we wanted to make sure that the workshops weren't over capacity, and we wanted to make sure that, just kind of, we were being extra careful. But I think this time the real thing is just show up early if you absolutely want to save your spot at a workshop. And also, I think we can just squeeze in for most of them. If they're absolutely at capacity, then we'll do our best to get an extra one. So like if you show up at Kip's workshop or any of the workshops and they're completely full, let somebody know, or I'll also ask the speakers to let me know if anything fills up, and we'll try to get an extra instance of it, because we have a lot of space actually, particularly Saturday and Sunday. There's a lot of workshop venue space that we have available that we're just not hosting anything because we didn't want to overdo it and have too many extra instances. But we have space for those. Okay, so Casey's How to Build a Local Human Design Meetup. This will be great. There'll be a few other people there. I think Monique Gauger will be there as well, sharing some about Human Design Wisconsin, which is a local human design community she made. This will just be a great kind of kickstart if you want to kickstart your local human design community. What are some tips and tricks and printouts and things you can do to get people interested in your community? And then Jess Tilley is doing a double feature workshop, Human Design 101 and Inner Authority, and this is at Iconic Coffee Roasters Red. This one's actually open to the public. So this is actually, there's a blurb about it I see Jess is on here. There's a blurb about it in the newspaper. Jess, you made the paper, so we have your photo and the description that you sent me, and that actually made it into the Santa Fe Reporter. I'll see if I can get a photo of that over for you, and yeah, and this one will be at Iconic Coffee Roasters Red, which is a really awesome venue. They're staying open late and serving food and drink and stuff. Yeah, totally cool. They were really excited about it. The person who helped book it there, I gave her the choice of 4 or 5 different workshops, and she chose this one and was like very pumped on it and just said this sounds like a perfect one. So a great way to help introduce human design to the community as well. And then also every year we get some people who join who are just kind of new to human design but very excited about it. And so this will be a good one, just for them to make sure that they have all the fundamentals, and also, even if you've already been in human design for a long time, just to go over the basics. Human Design 101 is going over the basics of the chart, authority, strategy, centers, definition, how these are currently functioning in your life, and how to work with your natural flow. And then at 7 p.m., connecting with your inner authority. And I really like what you wrote here, Jess, about all the exciting information in the chart, the incarnation cross, gates, environments, other aspects of the body graph, are the sprinkles on the cake that will flop if you do not correctly bake the foundational cake. And that foundation is your strategy and authority. They will support all the flair you're here to bring in the world. So let's work on mastering what it truly feels like to be you, to be connected with your inner authority. No one else will ever be able to tell you what this uniquely feels like for you. We are all so beautifully different. It is vital that you connect to what this feels like for you, not trying to find the sensation that has been described to you. This connection is a key piece to living out your most aligned and vibrant life. Yeah, well said, Jess. And this is a really nice first day one. And I know there's a number of people I've met in the community who've just heard about the conference and kind of curious about it. And I've been telling all of them to go to that so that they can really get a good foundation in it. And then, as mentioned, 6 to 10. Honestly, this will probably go till midnight, but I put 6 to 10 just optimistically. We're having the opening night gala. Yeah, I always try to wrap things up by midnight at the latest, and then I end up getting no sleep for this week. So maybe the non-sacrals will do better, but hopefully I should say. These are some photos from previous years there. That's Mike smiling with David Wiles, the proprietor of the venue, pouring him a beverage. This is a really fun location. David runs an Airbnb, which I know a couple people are actually going to be staying at during the conference, and he's made it, you can kind of get the feeling from the backdrop there. He's just made it totally wild. It looks like a Moroccan bazaar, or some I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like you're on the Silk Road or something, and there's I don't know, he has multiple outdoor bars on his property. He actually purchases up old commercial fixtures and so on. So he got 2 of the bars from a famous local bar that closed up here and set them up outside with tents. I'll put it this way. He's a 15-year Burning Man veteran. So he's basically made a little micro Burning Man in his yard, and that's where we're hosting it, as well as indoors. And he has quite an incredible place. I almost wanted to make these full color. I resisted the urge, and I kept it black and white because I didn't want... My rationale was that if you're already kind of having information overload from all this info, the last thing you need is a bunch of crazy, vibrant colors. But you can imagine these photos with crazy, vibrant colors. These are photos from last year's opening night gala. That is a model train he has in the back. At various times, he has had that train going up to the roof and back down of his house. He has a rooftop deck. I mean, this guy, very, very cool stuff. So we will have an opening night gala. The scavenger hunt optimistically starts at 6:30. If there's not enough people there, it'll start later. Kaylee's doing the scavenger hunt this year, and this is really fun. It's a penta scavenger hunt, and so we'll need a minimum of 6 people. It's a lot more fun than individuals. So hopefully, if there aren't enough people there at 6:30, we'll just do it later, but hopefully we'll have at least 6 people there to break into 2 groups of 3. And if there's more than that, we'll just have multiple pentas. The rules of the scavenger hunt are pretty simple. There will be 5 clues hidden around the location. when each clue is discovered, it leads to the next clue, and they must inform the other pentas. You score a point for finding it, but then you have to tell everybody else because otherwise they're not going to, it'll be a disadvantage. So, anyway, this will all be explained by Kaylee, but we have prizes, we have gift bags, gold, silver, bronze, gift bags for the scavenger hunt. We will also have another tarot swirl. We'll have snacks and beverages. You're also welcome to bring more if you'd like. Not required. We'll have plenty of stuff there. Okay, so that is Wednesday. I'm going to take a short break. Grab a glass of water if anyone else wants to take a break. If anyone needs to drop off, no problem at all. This is all being recorded. Feel free to keep chatting. I am going to be back in 8 minutes. So at 10 minutes after the hour, I will return. Let's just take a short break, stretch our legs, get some water, and so on. And yeah, please post any questions, comments you have. Feel free to chat on voice chat as well if people would like to get to know each other. And I will be back very shortly. All right. Thank you all for your patience. So I see some chats about 10,000 waves. Definitely recommend going to 10,000 waves. It is awesome. I see Jess says she talked to the owner who said he's happy to show us around. Jess may stop by during the conference. Yeah, if he's offered you a tour, I mean, definitely come by for a tour. You can also you can go to the general pool. I wonder if the general pool is back open. It was closed for COVID, and it was actually closed quite a bit after. Let me just check really quick if the general. But otherwise, they have private pools. So let me just see if general entry for 10,000 waves is back again. Let's see, reservations. So let's see what they have. Private hot tub suites, community soaking. Yeah, they do have community soaking. So definitely worth it. Let me check the current prices. Community soaking, yeah, it's gotten a little bit more expensive. It's up to $62 now. It's kind of surprising to me, but you can definitely. I mean, it's a really amazing place. It's a very sweet location. Also, very affordable is Sunrise Springs in Santa Fe, and also Ojo Caliente, which is a short drive outside of Santa Fe. So they're both owned by the same people, Ojo Caliente, and then Sunrise Springs, also known as Ojo Santa Fe. I guess they've rebranded. They used to call it Sunrise. Now they're calling it Ojo Santa Fe. But yeah, Ojo Santa Fe is also a very nice place to go for the hot springs, and I think a little bit more affordable. So you'll have to check. Yes, because it looks like 10,000 Waves is now $62 for the public. Let's see. What's the general? I don't see the prices, but anyway, you'll have to look into that. Definitely worth it. There are also a number of free hot springs, natural hot springs. So if you want to experience like the lithium and minerals in the water of some of the natural local hot springs, I can recommend some. One is a bit of a drive, but it's pretty great. It's called Montezuma. Isn't it called Montezuma? Well, that was a different one. I think there's Montezuma Hot Springs in Las Vegas, New Mexico, which itself is a really cool kind of Wild West town. And so you can see that people have actually built cement structures there. But yeah, it's very easy to get to, and it's also very close to the Dewan Light Sanctuary. And so if you go out there, I definitely recommend going to the Dewan Light Sanctuary. Really cool, free, open to the public, basically temple of light. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's continue on with the schedule. Actually, before we do, I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, no more questions. Awesome. Carla, Jackie chatting, pockets. Yeah, it's 10,000 Waves is totally awesome. I want to do a couple of unboxings. We have some things to open, and I have them here with me. And so let's see what we have. I'm not actually sure what these are, but these are conference things. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff for the conference. We really upped the game this year on things like signage and kind of more of the nuts and bolts and quality of life improvements. Let's see. Oh, interesting. This is like two boxes in one. Oh, I think I know what this is. I bet I know what this is. Okay, so who here knows what the Bond 2 plates are? Have you ever seen the Bond 2 plates? The Bond 2 plates created by Ra Uru-Fu in 1995. Okay, Susan says, nope, what's that? Well, you're going to see them. So in 1995, Ra used early graphic software like Photoshop to essentially create plates of like images, like plates that you could print out of his experience with the voice as it pertains to the Big Bang. Where the voice, I think that's what this is, Carla. I think that's what this is. So you're going to have to enter the raffle. because, and for those who haven't, I can post the link in a minute, but you'll be able to enter in person as well. Gotta make sure I don't stab myself. Jonah stabs himself in the live unboxing. Okay. I have an undefined spleen here. I'm not the safest with things. Okay. So I think that's what this is, honestly, Carla. I have a hunch. Let's see. Just based on the dimensions. Okay. So yeah, this is a yoga mat that we have made. I had to upscale these things because when Ra made it, like 1,000 pixels was huge, you know? And to actually get it to print at this size, I had to use AI upscaling. Wow, okay, interesting. So let's see. So it has half on one side and half on the other. I see that this is kind of stuff. It's like an archaeological dig. We have to like tear off the cobwebs. So wow, this is a pretty nice thick mat. Yeah, I ordered the thicker quality. Wow. Well, this is pretty fun. These are the Bantu plates. So these are the actual plates that Ra made. And I wonder if they're... I have it upside down. Here we go. I wonder if you can actually read it. I mean, hopefully you'll be able to. You know, I think you can. It's not the easiest to read, but from a distance anyway. And so, and these are the original graphics that Ra made. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of working to get the paper off. But yeah, this is the Bantu plates on a yoga mat. So nice. Carla says her desire motivation is locking in. Well, we have two. I will put both of them in the running for the raffle. So definitely, I believe one might be in the raffle and one might be. I think they'll both be in the raffle. I have to figure out. I don't remember what we planned, but there's a bunch of different. So the prizes can be won at the scavenger hunt, the trivia night, the raffle, of course, and then I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'll figure it out. We also have two raffles. The ticket gets you entry to both. So probably we'll do one yoga mat in the first raffle and one in the second. Okay. Another one. I think I know what this is too. Yeah, don't quote me on them both being in the raffle. At least one will be in the raffle. But anyway. Okay, this is Ra pillow. You get both sides, so that's kind of fun. A nice Ra pillow. Let's see what else we have.
Jonah, are those the tote bags behind you?
Tote bags? No, yeah. No. These are. This was made. We actually have the totes. I did a unboxing of those for the remote gift. The totes are really cool this year. They're really thick nylon, and they're not like handle totes. They're more like drawstring totes that you can wear as a backpack or as a side bag or as a shoulder bag. So they're pretty cool. A lot of different colors. No, this cool. This was made by Adrienne Roach. This is fun. We should make these the tote bags, honestly, if she'd let us use the design. And then this was our first year tote bag. Yeah, this was our first year tote bag there. So, all right, let's see what we have here. This is, so these are more shirts. We will have some shirts available for sale, some as prizes. This is Mike's Design of Plants shirt. And we have a lot of different sizes we printed up, but we also have the ability to special order in your size. So if there's a size that you need, yeah, these are just extras of that. Yeah, this was one of Mike's first human design shirt designs. The Design of Plants, Secret Life of Plants mashup. So I helped out with that. The Secret Life of Plants, that's the logo there, was a book in the 1970s, and then they made a film about it. And it's pretty cool. It's like scientists who do experiments like playing heavy metal for plants versus playing classical music and seeing how the plants react to different kinds of music and stuff like that. So pretty fun. And yeah, Design of Plants there. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, lots of fun merch. Okay, a bunch more t-shirts. Oh, these are not for sale, but we have a whole bunch of shirts for the volunteers at High Desert Human Design Cafe, the HDHD Cafe. So that way they'll be wearing cute HDHD shirts, all different sizes. Oh, and just a few others too. I see. We just have like vintage HDHD tee, stuff like that, like our first logo, original logo. So, yep, a lot of fun there. Okay, let's see what else we have. Oh, I know what this is. We have a couple styles of this, and we've actually been learning the backstory here. This is, oh, interesting. You have to assemble it. This is a Ra Uruhu mouse pad. This is one that actually, so we have a couple different versions of this. We have the normal, the one I was showing earlier, which is sort of the bigger rectangle, and then we have the version that has the little wrist holder for you. So that is a Ra mouse pad. Pretty fun. We got a little backstory on it. It's a photo by Hanala, who was posting. It was shared by Chaitanya FX, and then we got a little more backstory of like we're tracking down when the photo was taken and what's the context and so on. And people have been making up their own jokes, like this is Ra reading about Gene Keys, or he looks pretty intense. His expression in it, obviously pretty intense. So. All right. Well, yeah, there's a few other things. Let's see. Some of these are just kind of, oh yeah, okay, this is fun. These are just a few smaller cushions. This is just going to be a smaller High Desert Human Design cushion. And then we made a couple with designs by Von Hall, which aren't exactly HD related. It was more just cool to do with some of his original artwork and designs. So this is from a collage that Von made. So kind of an interesting Von Paul collage one. I don't know if that'll end up being. I'm not really sure which of these are going into the pool and which ones aren't, but that'll be fun. Okay, well let's get back to looking at the schedule. If there's any other questions, comments, anything at all, jump in. Otherwise, let's take a look at Thursday. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. Jess says these are all super. So, okay, so Thursday, main stage. We have Quantum Reflections with Roger Campbell. This is going to be him discussing some of what he's learned being a reflector. The day of Ra's untimely passing, he was about to reveal a new perspective on reflectors. Sadly, we will never know what Ra had in store. What we do know is that Ra's work on the reflector type was far from complete. Join Roger, a 3-5 reflector on the right angle cross of rulership, in looking at some of the ways we can understand the reflector type that they don't teach you in the book. Indeed, there are some questions only experience can answer. I wrote this blurb for Roger. He didn't send me a blurb, so I just wrote one. Join us to hear Roger's experiential wisdom in this special session on reflectors. I know that Roger has props for this. I'm not going to spoil it, but he's actually put together some props to bring with him, so it's going to be a cool talk. Definitely worth showing up early for that. Healing the Will, the missing piece in the solar plexus mutation, Karen Curry Parker. We are on the cusp of a creative revolution set in motion by the conclusion of the scientific revolution and the human design chart mutation of 1781. As we stand on the brink of another significant era in human history, we are tasked with cultivating a critical mass of conscious people to usher in an era of sustainable, equitable, and abundant peace, healing, and reclaiming. Defining our personal value is essential to creating an intentional tipping point for global change. Come discover the code for healing the will and reclaiming your personal sovereignty hidden in your human design chart. And that is a 90-minute talk. Now, this, I have some news as far as Larry Armstead II. He is unable to make it. He had a family emergency come up. And so we are replacing this talk with Michael Steenbeck-Litvin doing a talk on the Godheads. So I'm going to get the full description for that, and I'll be updating the digital schedule just as soon as Mike sends that over. He's still waiting for his emotional wave, but I think based on our conversation last night, he's happy to jump in at this time slot to talk about the Godheads. And we're really sorry to miss Larry this year and hope he comes back next year. So that's definitely a bummer, but I'm excited for Mike. Mike was originally going to present on the Godheads and then changed his talk to the Maya of Gender. And so now it looks like he's going to have the opportunity to present on both. Then we have, and I also told Mike he doesn't have to fill the whole slot. He can just do half an hour. So this will probably be like 11:30 to 12, shorter talk on the Godheads, potentially. Then we have lunch break and a sound healing bath with Brian Graham. So Brian's going to be doing singing bowls for those who are here and want a little bit of a rejuvenating experience. Then we have Embodying Your Incarnation Cross with Jess Tilley. Way to go, Jess. 2 main stage talks, 4 workshops, just crushing it this year. I think you're on a panel too. I mean, yeah, love it. Jess is definitely, if there's a race or a prize for who contributes the most talks and workshops, Jess gets a gold medal. So very excited. And these are all really good topics. I'm loving the topics. This is Embodying Your Incarnation Cross, Learning How to Work with Your Incarnation Cross, The Importance of Your Conscious Sun, and the Counterbalance of the Grounding Earth. So very good topic. Something very cool there. For those wondering, this is artwork by Michael Steenbeck Litvin. We have... yeah, absolutely. We have credits for all of the art used in the schedule and guidebook on the second to last page. You can see credits. That's an original piece by Mike. Guided Somatic Experience, Nikki Castor. Immerse yourself in a mind-body journey to release stress, transform your state, and refresh your energy. And then a comment from Susan. I think some of you might find this new film interesting from a dear friend of hers. Music for Mushrooms. Oh, wonderful. No, it's not off topic. We were just talking about the secret life of plants and how they were playing music to the plants. So absolutely. And of course, it brings up the perennial question, we demand a design of fungi. Where's the design of fungi? They're not quite plants and they're not quite animals. Something in between. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a work of art for many, and she loves and holds dearly, starting to screen in some areas. It's eastforest.org/music for mushrooms. Very cool. And Carla says she loves East Forest. Not familiar with it. I'll have to check it out. I'll open that up for later. Very cool. Music for mushrooms. Comparing music with psychedelics bring transformative healing to the world. Oh, this is awesome. Thank you for that. I'll definitely keep that open and check it out a little bit later. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, Nikki Castor, this is going to be a guided somatic experience. Yeah, it's really nice to have a mix of talks and other experiences like the sound healing and guided somatic experience to kind of help people not get overloaded by information. Then we have the origins of human design circuitry in grid group cultural theory or grid group theory. This is cultural anthropology theory developed by Dame Mary Douglas, and Kip Winsett was actually a personal friend of Dame Mary's, and so he will be talking about individual, tribal, and collective from the perspective of grid group theory. So very, very cool topic. Jackie Clefsass and Yelitsaveta Brandt, I hope I didn't mangle that, Yelitsaveta Brandt, or Liz Brandt, they will be talking on For the Children, Parenting in 2024. So this is a parenting panel, and what it's like to parent now, and to, human design is really for the children, and that's something Ra always said, and something we don't always remember. That deconditioning is just a part of it, but actually raising children correctly according to their design was sort of Ra's main goal. We have Heretic Sessions 2, James Alexander, and then we have Rave Cosmology, the Mother of All Cosmologies with Dewan Manuel. And that will be Dewan presenting on the subject of rave cosmology, bringing us back to the Big Bang, the collision of the Bon and the two. So very cool there. A little spotlight on Karen Curry Parker here. We put in some speaker spotlights. And then, yeah, very exciting. So Thursday, workshop special events, yoga in the park, starting with Taya Janelle. Taya will be leading yoga for those who want to stretch and have more energy oriented. This really kind of gives you the opportunity or option of choosing how much info versus energy you want. Some people are going to be very info heavy. They can't get enough info. They want to take in all the info. Others are going to be here more for the frequency of the event and for the energy component. And so we have a lot of things that give you the ability to rest and play and all that energetic side of it. We have tone, color, line analysis for relationships. That's a talk I'll be talking. Oh, are there going to be yoga mats? Yeah, I'm going to give her a couple that I have, and then Wednesday is the first raffle. So whoever wins their Bond 2 yoga mat will be able to bring that, and we're going to see if there's any other yoga mats around. But it'll be in the park, which I've done yoga there plenty of times, just in the grass, and it's pretty nice. We can also bring some towels. That might be a good option. But yeah, she's going to have a couple mats. I'll have a couple. We'll just kind of make do. I don't know of any company that rents them. I mean, that would be a cool thing if so, but I'm not sure of any yoga mat rentals. Maybe that's a new business. That would be good. So yeah, tone, color, line analysis for relationships. This will just be doing TCL, which those who studied rave psychology will be familiar with. And I'll be also bringing in some of the work of Steve Rhodes. Then at 3 p.m. we have Human Design New Year. And so that's going to be, I think we talked about this last time, Jess. If you want to jump on mic, by the way, and any of your talks, feel free to jump on and describe them if you want to tell us. What I have is going through the gate transits, the closing energy, and contemplative questions related to each gate activation. So that'll be cool doing Human Design New Year analysis. And then happy hour at Cowgirl. This will just be a fun kind of meet and greet happy hour. Just text me if you're going to come so I make sure I have a head count and know how many people, to get tables for. Or just show up early. It's fine too. And then we have a number of events. This is at my home, so you'll see like Thursday, pretty much you could just stay at my house all day. And in fact, we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 to 5 p.m. we have the Tribal Support Lounge. That's going to be, I have a trailer, like a really nice 35-foot trailer that was converted to an art studio on my property. And we're going to basically make it a very nice, relaxing spot where we're going to have fresh oranges and chocolate and, fruit juice and things like that for people, coconut water. For people that just need to chill out, maybe you got a little too much sun walking around, maybe the high elevation is hitting you, maybe you just had a lot of information overload and you need to detox your psyche. So we have Tarot Gold, Augustina, coming all the way from Manhattan, and she'll be doing Detox Your Psyche, which will be kind of, she's a practitioner of meditation and many other arts, mystic arts, and she's an incredible tarot reader, and we'll be doing tarot readings for people. And then we also have Qigong with Orion. So if you missed his Qigong the previous day, that's more of a Qigong play shop where he'll be talking a bit more as well. He'll just be kind of leading Qigong. Very rejuvenating, highly recommended. Earlier in that day, we have a Zoom viewing party with Dr. Eleanor Haspel-Portner. For those who didn't get the news, she is unable to attend due to unforeseen circumstances that came up. And so in lieu of that, she's sending a special gift to each and every attendees, and we're going to have Zoom viewing parties for her talks in lieu of her speaking in person. So this is all at my home where I am right now, actually. And so depending on, how much you want to be at the main venue versus this, you could essentially just come here, watch Eleanor, hang out for the Tribal Support Lounge, special tarot event. There'll probably be another swirl. Deconditioning dance party. This is really cool. We got a submission of some music to play, and so Amy and Monique are in charge of this. I have to see what they have in mind, but essentially we were submitted music, some original music. Karen Curry Parker helped produce. I'm not sure what producers were involved, but she said that they made music that's house music using frequencies related to the centers. So how cool is that? They submitted some original house music to play at the Deconditioning Dance Party. We have HDHD Wine Club that night. And so this is going to be, yeah, I did not put the pun in there. My friendly helper, Johnny Cruz, put a bunch of puns throughout all of the I removed most of them. I think he called the tarot event a tarot-fully delightful evening. Like I had to go through and find all of the names he had changed of the events to puns. But I left this one in there, getting uncorked. That's his contribution. And so we have 2 wine club meetups. This is just going to be opportunity to get to know people, hang out more if you like wine, mostly natural wine, biodynamic wine. No wine will be turned away, but it's a little more. There'll be a sommelier Julian Martinez. He's a 4-6 reflector who runs the really good 315 restaurant and wine bar. Highly recommended. Awesome wine bar. He's the manager there, and he will be presiding. And then I think we have a few other people helping out as well. Sorry if I forgot. Were you going to help out, Jess? I know Kaylee, I think, maybe was going to help. And we had a few volunteers. So the volunteers will definitely can definitely help. We'll get that sorted out. But basically, no one will be turned away for lack of wine. But if you'd like, you can bring a bottle to share. It's definitely recommended. We'll have a few bottles on hand as well. And there's a list of recommended places for picking up wine in town. But there's a lot of options here. Santa Fe is definitely a wine town. Then we're going to have game night, playing card games, board games, maybe play some charades. I know that's one of Singh's favorite games. We'll see how that goes, but we have a game night that night. So yeah, this is kind of more on the event side of it. There'll be a couple workshops in here, as you can see, but I guess one workshop. And then my flow for this day is I'm probably going to start with yoga. No, wait, what do I have to do? Yeah, I'm probably going to start with yoga, head over for my talk. I would love to be there for your talk, Jess, but I have to run over to Cowgirl. We'll be at Cowgirl long enough that after your Human Design New Year, if you want to join us, you can meet us there. And then I'm probably going to go to the field trip to the Tumbleroot Pottery Pub and then end up later in the evening, like at the wine club and game night and stuff. So yeah, also during the day we have, that's at 5. Well, I might have to miss the Pottery Pub. I have a feeling that the happy hour will go all the way till 6 at the Cowgirl. But in any case, there's also a live recording of Human Design Coffee Talk, Brandy Gilmartin and Teresa Brenneman's podcast, interviewing Chetan Parkin and Carola Eastwood. So, and then right after that, we have Jess Locke building resilience through our shadows. There's the aforementioned Finding Your Design with Clay field trip to the Tumbleroot Pottery Pub. I think the best way to do this is if you come to the happy hour, you could just leave around 4:45, and it's just a short walk over to the Pottery Pub. So kind of do a little bar hop from one place to the next. Not that there has to be alcohol. There's plenty of non-alcoholic options at both places, and there's really good food at the happy hour. It's like a food happy hour. It's one of the reasons I put that one on there. So this will be really cool, Finding Your Design with Clay. Definitely a fun, memorable experience to be sure. We have a Manifestor-only event, a Manifestor meetup hosted by Elizabeth Black at Fasciation Space. We have Mechanics and Mythology 2 with Richard Corbett, so one more chance to do Human Design and Astrology. Then at Dreamas, we have a Human Design Satsang. I believe this is Mark Germain. I think he's going to be joined by Vedran Shanti, V. Shanti, who's a Jyotisika, which is a Jyotish astrologer as well as human design analyst. He came to town last night and has been helping me get the house ready. all the way from Zagreb, Croatia. Really wonderful having him here, and he's going to probably join Mark for this. And then at 6 o'clock, we have Remembering Your Truth, an exploration of the mystical way in your experiment, Victoria Jane. So just to read a few of the descriptions, Jess Locke, building resilience through our shadows, deconditioning through shadow work, a journey into the not self themes and gates. This is an interactive workshop. Bring your charts and any questions you might have. We'll go through your baseline as we explore the gifts, shadows, and tensions of your chart. Then Victoria Jane, Remembering Your Truth, an exploration of the mystical way in your experiment. If you're at this conference, you likely consider yourself in the experiment, but what does your path look like? The marketplace, including HD spaces, offers a glut of information, practices, and solutions. But what is your truth? What happens when you clear all the programs and tune into your authentic way? How are you here to be a mystic or not? Engaging with your design as it is a template for awakening. Yet what was always already there can be easily overlooked in the pull of not self distractions. We'll look at the gates of the mystical stream, how your profile and gates fix your mystical path, and example charts. So that is Remembering Your Truth. So yeah, we have a few options here. I mean, definitely you could do the Verbato Counseling double feature, basically go to the coffee talk interview and stick around for Building Resilience. It's right next to a number of really good restaurants, so you have no shortage of restaurants. You could probably get something at 3:30 on the way, or I don't think this will go for a full 2 hours. I think it's probably more like 90 minutes. You could pop out and get something at 5:30 and then bring it back to eat during this one. Tumbleroot Pottery Pub will be a nice kind of, for people who want to get out and see Santa Fe more. It's right near the Santa Fe Plaza, so you'll get to see more of the town. And you can always go to that at 5 and then either leave at 5:45 in time to make it to one of these meetups, or stay later and then just come back to the Center for Human Design by 7 for the deconditioning dance party and stuff like that. So it's a lot going on, but go to what speaks to you and what calls you there. For me this day, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do yoga in the park, TCL analysis, happy hour at Cowgirl, depending how long that goes, possibly Pottery Pub, or I will probably return to help preside over the events at my house. Deconditioning dance party, wine club. Definitely will be there by the time of wine club and game night. So haven't totally figured out all the details yet, but that's probably what my flow for Thursday will look like. But again, I'm a 2946, so I love field trips and I love going out, and I will probably catch like 4 talks at the main venue this year. Not that I have anything against those talks, but just I'm a sacrally defined 2946 experiential person who really likes to go out. In Penta, we look at 2946 as the one who takes the Penta out. So if you have a family that's lacking that channel, they don't have any activation there, they're homebodies and they never go out. And so because I have 2946, I really am the one to say, oh yeah, let's go walk the river trail. Let's go bar hop. Let's go, see where we end up. And, because I have 2946, I often end up finding a lot of cool synchronicities and coincidences and kind of happening to stumble into a mariachi band followed by a live painting, who knows what, it's usually a little bit of an adventure. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But again, it's helpful. You can print out those flows and then kind of circle what looks really good to you. I do really want to, there's so many things I want to attend. I really want to attend this mystical way. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get there in time. And some others as well. So I try not to worry about it. At this point, it's kind of like, I just try to record as much as possible. That way I can live vicariously through the attendees later and catch up on the talks when possible. All right, this is Friday. I think we'll probably do about 15 more minutes and then wrap up. I hope everyone's doing okay. We're doing this tomorrow and the next day as well. So we'll just basically pick up wherever we leave off then. Thank you all for sticking around. If anyone's getting tired, do not feel obligated in the slightest. I'm never offended by people dropping off Zoom. I look at it as personal freedom to come and go. So we have Presence, the Art of Synthesis, Robert Raymond Wiles, Alpha Projector 24, proprietor of Ray's Country Gardens, and he'll be talking about how important presence is and his theory of synthesis. Very fascinating guy, very well versed in astrology, been in human design over 20 years. He showed me his old stack of body graphs and printouts he had from the late 90s and early 2000s, and yeah, maybe over 20 years, I guess. And really cool guy. Definitely interested in this talk. He's going to be really talking about the importance of presence as well as what he means by synthesis, which is sort of this mystical idea of the synthesis of liquid, solid, and gaseous. It's like water is the ultimate symbol of synthesis because water can be in all three states. You know, it can be solid like ice, and it can be gaseous like air, and obviously liquid, which I guess is like flame, kind of funny enough. But in any case, this idea of synthesis for him is basically all surrounds this idea of spontaneous acceptance. And so it's basically like, what do I do? Well, you accept. And acceptance dissolves or solves all the problems. Like, acceptance is basically the water that allows us to flow through life and is the ultimate synthesis. So, interesting crossover theme here with Indra Shekhar Singh, who wants to do a talk on water. And Indra's talk, he's worked a lot in water rights and in eco activism and things like that. And so he wants to actually talk about water and its relation to the sacred feminine and the divine feminine and the mother goddess. And then Ray is going to be using water as the sort of symbol for the ultimate solution. Even the term solutio, solution, it's the root means to dissolve as you would in water. So what is a solution? It's when we apply water to something and it solves it. Anyway, curious to see what he's going to talk about. Really interesting guy, Alpha Projector. I'm sure he'll bring some interesting ideas here. We have Human Design, Where It Came From and Where It's Going, Chetan Parkin. I'll read what he wrote about it here. Chetan Parkin was first told about human design in the books he would write about it in 1979, several years prior to the download that Robert Alan Krakauer, Ra Uru Hu, received on January 4th, 1987. Actually, Alan Robert Krakauer was his birth name, but people get that backwards a lot. Robert was his middle name, but Ra used Robert as his pen name, and in fact got his moniker Ra when he was going to say his name was Robert and stopped after the first syllable. A little funny story there. Chetan was told about the effects that human design would have on the world as the first objective system that tells us quite clearly where we are coming from and where life is taking us. Over the years, and through much personal guidance, reflection, and meditation, Chetan has traced the origins of the knowledge that has become human design, realizing that the system is still in its infancy. Certainly, human design can assist us in these critical times. However, its greatest effects will come in the future and in ways that are not possible now. Our work is to keep expanding all of human design's potentials and enjoy ourselves as we get closer and closer to knowing who we are and what is going on here on this beautiful planet. Yeah, and it's a really incredible story if you haven't heard it. I won't tell it all here, but basically Chetan Parkin met a shadow reader in Mumbai, the guru of Rajneesh, who became known as Osho. And so Osho sent Chetan to meet his guru in Mumbai, who's a shadow reader who actually gave Chetan a choice and said, you can either become a shadow reader yourself or return to Osho, and then decades later, you'll be called upon, he's a 2-4, right, so he's called, to bring a new mystical system to the world, and that which would be human design. So very, very interesting. We have The Perfection of You, Jess Tilley. We are naturally drawn to what we don't have. In this talk, Jess shows us where in our charts we may feel a pull towards needing something that is not innately within us. We can develop an awareness that we are meant to feel this, but the meaning we have placed on it as us lacking needs to shift. We are all sovereign beings who have come to experience the world in our own unique ways, and exactly who we are designed to be is perfect. So, a beautiful sentiment, Jess. We have a little lunch break with aura experiments over lunch. This is a lot of fun. If you've never been in a room with 50 or 60 people doing human design aura experiments, it's a real treat. We get the emotional defined on one side and undefined on the other, and the roots on one side, undefined on the other, and various groupings. And then we've also done things where we take all of the generators into one room, and then they send one out to the other room, and then they take the projector back with them and things like that. Just some fun experiments. This will just be a good way to demonstrate and prove the aura. That'll be about 20 minutes. Then we have a special presentation, human design documentary presentation and Q&A with director Selin Parman and friends. So this will be cool. She'll be presenting on the documentary that she's making. At 1 p.m., we have The Secrets of Transitioning into 2027 with Barbara Ditlow. The subject of the changing global cycles is a rich and fascinating area of study. We have grown so accustomed to our ways of life, relying on an unbroken chain of community support going back hundreds of years. What happens when the chain breaks? Barbara will give us the secrets to surviving and thriving in the future, as the global theme of the Cross of Planning gives way to the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix. At 2:20, we have Healing with Human Design, an integrated approach to quantum wellness. If human design is an instruction manual for life, then the information to help align for optimal wellness is encoded in your human design chart. The stories we tell ourselves and the world about who we are and how we are directly impact our health and well-being. Come discover the healing power of the archetypes in your chart. That'll be with Karen Curry Parker. Immediately following it, Karen will be joined by Amy Douglas and Monique Sampedro for something they call the Nine-Centered Game Show. This is something Amy and Monique came up with, and they've invited Karen to join them. So that'll be fun to see what the Nine-Centered Game Show is. At 3:40, we have an ego projector panel with Lisa Aruna and friends. Then we have the Spiral of Everything with Brandy Jordan. Discover the profound interconnectedness of existence with The Spiral of Everything, a transformative workshop designed to explore the intricate patterns and cycles that shape our lives and the universe. This talk delves into the core frequencies of the hexagram structure, showing you how your design fits into the spiral of it all, providing a holistic understanding of the spiraling nature of reality. This talk has been a group favorite in conferences past. So that's it for the main stage that day. Thanks again to Taylor Teachworth for these wonderful little images we have here. I guess that's an aura. Pretty fun. Spotlight on Chetan and Kerala Eastwood. Their clients include Tony Robbins and Jack Canfield, of all people. How cool is that? And this is some info on their talks. And then, let's look at the workshops and special events. Then we will wrap up for Friday, and then tomorrow we'll pick back up and look at the weekend events. Okay, so Friday morning, I'll be doing Personality and Human Design 1, Introduction to the Objective Personality System. This is a system based on Jung's typology that I'm a huge fan of, and I believe can really help inform human design readings and also just help our vocabulary in gaining understandings of the human psychology beyond the body graph. I do not believe you can collapse the body graph into personality type. The reason I don't believe this is because you have cases of twins born with nearly identical body graphs who have very different personalities. Although, to make it more complex, you also have twins with very similar personalities. But despite this, I have not found a way to collapse personality into the body graph. I do not believe human design is a personality typing system. But the objective personality system is absolutely a personality typing system. And so it's going to be a very interesting conversation how this mixes with human design. I also just finished teaching a 10-week course with 16 students, 15 of whom are deep in human design. And so many of those students will be at the conference and we'll be able to discuss some of what they've learned. as well. But anyway, this is just going to be kind of my intro to personality. Definitely, if you're interested in learning more of the psychological side of things or learning personality typing, please join. Yeah. Oh, thanks so much, Susan. She said she has to hop off. And Jess says excited to learn more. Yeah, and don't worry. I mean, you're going to be so busy, Jess, with all the stuff you're doing at the conference. I'll record it and make videos available for people as well. So nothing to worry about there. So that's at 10:30. Then at the same location at 11:30, we have Qigong in the park. At 2:30 at Rubedo Counseling, we will have a repeat of Mark Germain's talk in case anyone missed it on Wednesday. And depending on, I mean, it might not necessarily be a repeat. It might just be a deeper exploration or a further discussion. So even if you attended the talk on Wednesday, you may want to attend this again if it's a topic that really speaks to you for the more extended group discussion, Q&A, stuff like that. The foundations and pillars on which human design stands. Right after that is Nine-Centered Communication, a discussion with James Alexander, Teresa Brenneman, and Michael Steenbeck-Litvin. This will definitely be a very popular talk. Great group of people together for their panel. Jess Tilley, activating and alchemizing at Amber's. So this will be a nice way to, I think this is really good timing. I looked at scheduling the talks at different times where it seems, I think this will be good. People will be deep enough into the conference and kind of experiencing all of the energies and so on that's when the alchemy can really happen. There can be a really, there's almost like putting together the right times for things to happen. And I think by Friday evening, it does something to you to be at a conference with this many people in human design and these frequencies you're experiencing. I mean, even just being around that many reflectors. I remember in 2022, I was in a room and there were 8 reflectors there. And I remember thinking, if each reflector is taking the transit program and sort of broadcasting it out as a symphony to 100 other people, ideally 99 other people, we would need 800 people in this room to absorb all of that. And so it's almost like getting blasted with such a high frequency experience of the program. It's incredible. So I think this will be a really good timing for this one, Jess, doing the activating and alchemizing. Having it by Friday, people will be sort of open to some of what you're going to be doing and kind of getting them in touch with different aspects of their aura and of themselves. We have a reflector roundtable. So this is going to have a number of reflectors at the event. Hanifa Adil, Agnes Kurdupa, Marissa Chagaleaf, and Dreama Blankenbeckler, my mom, facilitated by Roger Campbell. So this is 5 reflectors. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely hop around. Like, if you wanted to, you could, show up at Mark's at 2:30 and then go back to the main stage at 4, catch Brandy's Spiral of Everything, and then pop back over at 6 to the Reflector Roundtable or to Activating and Alchemizing. These are all pretty close to each other. I mean, it's literally like 3-minute drive, 15-minute walk kind of distances, or less, sometimes like 8-minute walk. So they're all pretty close. You can pretty much hop around. Just, go to the one that really speaks to you. I like this reflector graphic. This was submitted by Mike. I don't think he drew it. I think he found it from some like 1950s Americana advertisement or something, but he sent this to me. He said, here's a good reflector image you can use. And I said, oh, thanks, Mike. Photo by Feliciano Netzwapili Ortiz. He did a lot of the photos here, including this one. Okay, and then there's a bunch of stuff at my house again. So, again, it's one of those situations where if you want to bop around and see more of the town, you can, or you can just go to the venue and stay at the venue all day, or you can just go to my house and stay there all day. At 10 a.m., we have Brynja Magnuson. She unfortunately had a last minute, something came up and she's unable to make it. It's really a bummer, but she is going to be doing a Zoom, and she'll be here in spirit. At noon, we have Eleanor Haspel-Portner continuing on her series. She's doing 12 o'clock Zoom viewing parties and online, which, by the way, you can always tune in from your hotel room or something like that if you want. But she's doing 12 o'clock Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. She's doing 4:12 p.m. Zooms, Thursday through Sunday, with different topics. The topic Friday is the 4 worlds in multidimensional human design. Then following that, we'll have the Tribal Support Lounge, Detox Your Psyche with Tarot Gold. Nikki Castor will be doing a guided somatic experience, and we have a sound bath with Brian Graham. Then we have Finding Your Design with Clay, which this is not the field trip. So this is Colin Aaron's doing just at my home here. She'll have clay available for everyone. So if you missed the field trip, or maybe you went and you enjoyed it so much, you want to do more with clay, this is a workshop in which Colin provides clay for participants to have a guided exercise and prompt to reflect on aspects of their design and respond using the material rather than words. The goal is for participants to find meaning and understanding through the experience with clay and enjoy the process. Colin's interest is in the connection between the somatic quality of clay, allowing a release of energy, combined with the self-expression in art. Through this experiment, participants can learn about human design in a way that is tactile and experiential. And so that'll be in kind of the front room area, and then in the back we'll have a Q&A with one of Ra Uruhu's early human design analysts, Dietrich Rudat. Dietrich is wonderful. She came last year and also did a couple talks. She was on a solar plexus panel with Richard, and she did more of an impromptu story time, telling some Ra stories. One of my favorite Dietrich stories with Ra, she's a massage therapist, and Gate 27, Ra would always call her Earth Mother. That was his nickname for her. And, oh, Earth Mother, you know. And she would always offer him a massage. And he would say, no, I don't need a massage. And finally, he agreed and took her up on it. And she gave him a massage, and it went great. And then the very next day, he came to her, and he held out his hand, and there was a tooth. And she looked up, and he was missing a tooth. And it was like, see, this is why I don't get massages. That was the idea, at least. You know, I don't know if he said that, but that was actually the idea. And I don't think you can really blame that on her, but there is this idea that the energy can be either in the spleen or the solar plexus, but not both necessarily, at least for someone like him who has an undefined solar plexus. So he seemed to think that the massage had moved all of this emotional energy and made his tooth fall out. Whether that actually was the cause or not, who knows. At 7 p.m., we'll be doing Scenes from Bloodwedding, a play by Federico Garcia Lorca. If you want to be an actor in this, it'll be a table read. You don't have to have any prep. You just have to be cast. And so Singh will be doing the casting. He is playing 3 roles, and we very much need people to play the bride, and I think also the wife, and I think also he's going to play Leonardo, the moon, and the mother. We have at least 3, maybe 4 slots open, and a few others. Yeah, Singh is absolutely fantastic. Right, you were there for his amazing voice acting. His read of The Madman and the Nun. So I'm so excited. He's going to be playing the role of Leonardo, one of the main characters in Bloodwedding. We're probably just gonna do the whole 3rd act. If we did the whole play, it would be like 2 hours. The 3rd act will be like 45 minutes, I want to say. So I'll probably just kind of get us all caught up so we know where we are in the play, what's happened thus far, and then we will read the 3rd act. And we have many copies of this, so if you do want to act in it, we just give you a copy of the script and cast you, and then you'll be able to join. At 8 o'clock, we have HDHD Wine Club Part 2. So this is kind of, might overlap a little bit with Bloodwedding. Probably not. We're going to try to get Bloodwedding done in time for Wine Club. If it does, you can always bring a glass of wine out and watch the rest. Human Design Trivia at 9. Hosted by Dave Myers. We'll have Rachel Middleton and Now are doing the trivia questions, and we'll be on the panel of judges along with myself and Mike. This is going to be really fun. Do not miss Human Design Trivia. It's so good. You win prizes. It's Penta. It's Penta's fighting it out. And there's even prizes for like best Penta name. So start coming up with some of the names now. At 10:30, we have the Friday night dance party. And then at midnight, we have Human Design After Dark, an annual tradition of human design and sexuality. And last year, we had Jen Cole talking about her personal experiences as a projector and growing up, her relationship to sexuality and how that changed through her deconditioning. The previous year, I did it with Juji Evans. We went through the gates of the sacral. It was kind of more like who here has gate 5? Oh, you all have almost like a kind of like a comedy show. Like, is it Tuesday yet? They all have sex the same day every week. Or who has gate 9? You have to have all the details. You have to have the flower petals on the bed. That kind of thing. It was kind of like roasting. It was like roasting people that have particular sacral gates, making sexual innuendos. So anyway, it was a fun time. We'll see what we do this year. We don't know exactly what's in store for Human Design After Dark this time, but it's basically our annual Human Design Sexuality talk, if you can call it that, / comedy night. And I will wrap it up for now. We actually do have a real comedy night this Saturday. Not this Saturday, the Saturday of the conference this year. Hanifa Adil will be hosting Human Design Comedy, which is awesome. She's been working on a stand-up routine. We're going to try to get Dave Myers up there to tell some of his jokes. We're going to try to get Dr. Julie Kay involved. She's doing a Ask Dr. Julie Anything panel earlier in the night. I may tell some of my jokes that I've written. I have a little stand-up routine I did a couple years ago. It needs some work. I need to workshop it a little bit, but we'll see. So I'm going to wrap up, let everybody go for now. If you're free tomorrow, come back on, same time. We'll do another schedule review session. We'll pick up on Saturday tomorrow, and we'll just kind of go through what else we have in store. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, anything like that, just let me know. But yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Yeah, Jess says, this is such a spectacular event. You've done such an amazing job with this, Jonah. So honored to be part of it. Well, thank you so much, Jess. Seriously, I'm really appreciative of your contributions and how helpful you've been. And yeah, it's going to be a really great time. So I'll get this uploaded for anybody who wasn't able to attend live, and I'll hopefully see you all tomorrow and pick back up with the rest of the events. Have a great day.